1 week all-inclusive at €800 seems too cheap, but innovative engines and emission-free alternate fuels are on the horizon. We were trying to address the problem, and soon we could have hundreds or thousands of ships powered completely by the wind. A fresh breeze on the seas. How can industry make shipping cleaner? It's ready for a new adventure. The ship has no engine but 2 masts and room for novice sailors. The captain and crew are preparing to leave France for Denmark. Our seas promised breathtaking vistas and a sense of freedom, but they are teeming with smoke-belching giants. Global maritime trade is a huge environmental hazard. As a shipping company, it's very important to us to emit less CO2 and thereby, we hope to at least slow climate change. Cruise ships are also climate killers, yet they are on course to break records. 1 week, all-inclusive trips for €800 are too cheap, but innovative engines and emission-free alternative fuels are on the horizon. We are trying to address the problem. We could have hundreds or thousands of ships powered completely by the wind, a fresh breeze on the seas. How can the industry make shipping cleaner? It's ready for a new adventure. Welcome on board. Thank you, I'll show you around. Great. Here you'll be learning and working here too. For 46-year-old Andreas Lackner, swabbing the deck and maintaining the ship are everyday tasks. He only became a captain by chance. Hailing from Austrian farm country, he was a Greenpeace activist and wanted to travel to South America. I only shipped over to avoid flying, but I fell in love with sailing on my very first ocean crossing. That love grew into a vision: why not transport goods using wind power? With 2 friends, he converted a 1943 schooner into a sailing cargo ship, hoping to inspire like-minded people. How big is the cargo hold? How much can it carry? You're standing on it. This is part of the hold. The hold can carry 35 tons of goods. Aslam's first mission as a crew member will be transporting French wine. It comes from small vineyards like the one owned by Julie and Toby Banbridge, a British-American couple. They fulfilled a lifelong dream of producing mainly organic wines on 7 hectares. However, extreme drought is taking its toll on their grapes. Hot weather is forecast next week again. The berries are very, very small, smaller than we'd imagine at this time of year. We must be down at least 30% already, and if there's no rain before harvest, we might be down to 50% in certain parts. Their concern about climate change motivates them to do more for the environment, which is why their naturally produced wines are sailing to market. Julie says, "It feels like we're doing something good for the environment, and for the future of our children." Their winery is small, and their sons Jonathan and Michael help out. They use recycled bottles and cartons to reduce their environmental footprint. The next time these boxes are handled, they'll be going on a boat to Copenhagen. Back at the dock, the ship sets up the loading ramp with help from the Banbridge family. They've been shipping their wine for 10 years. About 90% of world trade is done by cargo ships, and the Tres Hombres is a rare exception. All its cargo is loaded by hand: rum casks in the Caribbean, crates of stockfish in Norway, a throwback to when sailing ships brought goods to the world. We want to use free wind energy because it makes more sense than burning oil. We want to show people that it's possible, that it can be done differently. The ship is loaded with 35 tons of goods. The winemakers wish the crew a good journey. Thank you, cheers. A toast to climate-friendly transport of goods. Conventional cargo ships produce 2.9% of global greenhouse gas emissions, almost as much as air traffic. Alaikum is looking for an eco-friendly way to cross the Atlantic. Sharing a cabin with 7 other trainees, she's on a real adventure holiday. I think this is my bunk. Close quarters and little privacy, but a cruise was out of the question for environmental reasons. I've never taken a long-haul flight, but for years I've wanted to travel to North and South America. So, I thought traveling by ship might be a good idea. I'll try this trip and then decide if I want to sail across the Atlantic next year. It's the moment of truth for Alaikum and the crew. The ship is ready to sail. Okay, we can go. The captain gives the order to cast off. Under the eyes of friends and onlookers, the ship is set to arrive in Copenhagen in 2 weeks. Despite the excitement, sailing novice Alaikum is a little nervous. I'm afraid I'll do something wrong, get in someone's way, or go overboard. Meanwhile, in Norway, a crew is readying a vessel, this one a diesel-electric hybrid. We're unplugging the charging cable before we head out. In Norway, shore power is mostly made from renewable sources like hydropower, which charges the batteries during the night when the boat isn't in use. This green energy enables climate-friendly tourism. Northern Norway is where 27-year-old marine biologist Kalina Veg calls home. She's been working on the Brim Explorer for 2 years. Today's a very special day. It's the start of the whale watching season, always a highlight for us. Whales are part of Norway's natural beauty, but the local climate is changing drastically. Temperatures in the Arctic are rising 3 times faster than the global average, so Norway is changing its approach to water transport. About 80 ferries, a third of Norway's fleet, are fully electric and powered by 98% renewable sources. Battery capacity isn't yet enough for an 8-hour whale watching tour, which is why the crew uses a hybrid vessel. Somebody had to start. The more boats that request cleaner energy and shore power, the quicker change will happen. They hope to be diesel-free in 2 years. At the dock, the crew sets up the loading ramp, getting help from the Banbridge family. They've been shipping their wine for 10 years. Ready? About 90% of world trade is done by cargo ships, but the Aslam is a rare exception. All cargo is loaded by hand, rum casks in the Caribbean, crates of stockfish in Norway. It's a throwback to a time when sailing ships, not freighters, brought goods to the world. We want to use this free wind energy because it makes more sense than burning oil. We want to show people that it's possible, that it can be done differently. The ship is loaded with 35 tons of goods. The winemakers wish the crew a good journey. Thank you, cheers. A toast to climate-friendly transport of goods. Conventional cargo ships produce 2.9% of global greenhouse gas emissions, almost as much as air traffic. Alaikum is looking for an eco-friendly way to cross the Atlantic. Super. Thanks. The 35-year-old is sharing a cabin with 7 other trainees. It's a real adventure holiday. I think this is my bunk. Close quarters and little privacy, but a cruise was out of the question for the Sabian native, for environmental reasons. I've never even taken a long-haul flight, but for years I've wanted to travel to North and South America. So I thought traveling by ship might be a good idea. I'm going to try out this 2-week trip and then decide if I want to sail across the Atlantic next year. Meanwhile, a whale fin appears in the water. The captain switches to quiet mode, diesel engines off, running on electricity. The boat is almost silent as a fin whale surfaces, followed by a humpback mother and her calf. It's so exciting. Woo! Subscribe me and thanks for watching my channel.